We all hit walls, but when you finally figure out how to climb over a massive obstacle, you walk away with something incredibly valuable, the exact blueprint of how you survived. Usually, the immediate instinct is to reach out and help someone else navigate that exact same hazard. You might get a phone call from a friend pouring their heart out, dealing with the exact confusion you just conquered. You listen. You share the tools you used, the mistakes you made, and the specific steps required to get through it. This diagram illustrates the problem with that approach. A single one-on-one conversation is highly effective for one person. But if there are 10, 50, or 1,000 people out there facing that exact same problem, this one-to-one model starts to break down. You simply do not have the physical bandwidth to hold 1,000 separate hour-long phone calls. The math works against you. Every time you repeat the exact same advice to a new person, you burn through your own limited time, cap your physical reach, and severely restrict the total number of people you can actually help. All that hard-won experience becomes trapped in a linear loop. Without a system to capture and distribute it, profound personal wisdom is left sitting on the table, unused by the masses who need it most. When people realize they have a solution others need, they usually turn to the internet to try and scale it, but they almost always take the wrong approach. They drop isolated affiliate links across social media. They post URLs with no story, no education, and no personal context, resulting in a landscape that looks like this: a sterile wall of buy now buttons, asking strangers to pull out their wallets based on zero background information. This fails because it demands a financial transaction before taking the time to build any relational trust. A stranger does not care what tool you recommend if they do not first understand why you are recommending it. We call this the trust leak. It is the massive gap between possessing a genuinely helpful tool and actually getting an audience to care enough to use it. To actually reach people at scale, you have to figure out how to magnify the authenticity and care of that original one-on-one phone call, rather than just mass distributing a web address. This is where webinars come in. A webinar acts as a structural bridge, taking the raw, scattered details of your personal experience and packaging them into a focused, scalable educational asset. Instead of rambling through a story, you organize your message into 4 specific pillars. Identify the problem, explain why it matters, introduce the tool you used, and demonstrate how it works. By following these steps, you carve out the time required to genuinely educate your audience. You answer their questions and validate their pain points, effectively replicating the natural rhythm and trust-building pacing of an intimate conversation. Structure takes a fleeting personal memory and solidifies it into a permanent, repeatable digital asset that can run for audiences of any size. Once you have that structured educational asset in place, you can attach an economic engine to it. This is the role of affiliate marketing. Affiliate marketing is a closed loop with 4 players: merchant, affiliate, consumer, and network. You connect the consumer's problem to the merchant's solution, while the network tracks the link. This triggers revenue models like pay-per-sale, lead, click, or install. But this entire economic engine stalls out if it is not fed by genuine trust. It only works if you operate with a serve-first mentality, recommending tools you actually believe in, rather than pushing whatever pays the highest commission. When executed correctly, sustainable affiliate marketing is completely removed from high-pressure sales tactics. It simply becomes the natural, economic byproduct of matching a well-structured lesson with an audience actively seeking relief. Even with a perfectly structured webinar and a solid affiliate offer, there is one final operational bottleneck: driving traffic. Generating enough daily content to consistently fill your webinar seats requires a truly staggering amount of manual labor. To eliminate this labor constraint, you deploy artificial intelligence. AI acts as an exponential multiplier for the ideas you have already structured. AI takes your single core webinar and instantly fractures it into dozens of assets: a community post, a video script, an email sequence, and a podcast outline. This web captures diverse audiences across different platforms and funnels all attention back to the core lesson. AI doesn't create the insight. It requires your human experience. It simply organizes and scales your existing wisdom at speeds previously impossible for a single creator. We have traced the complete life cycle of a legacy idea. It begins as a single, scattered conversation, gets structured into a webinar, monetized through an affiliate ecosystem, and finally scaled into an automated content machine using AI. The hard-won lessons you survived and the tools you discovered were never meant to be confined to a single room or a single phone call. When you plant them in a system, they grow outward to provide shelter and solutions for thousands of people. Take a look at your own history. What is the one specific conversation you find yourself having over and over again? What is the one software or tool you constantly recommend to your peers? That is the raw material for your next income stream. To learn exactly how to build this architecture, join us inside the AI Legacy Builders Circle community at tinyurl.com/AI Legacy Circle. A single conversation can change one person's day, but an engineered digital system builds a legacy that can change thousands of lives long after you have stopped speaking.